I reach the place I'm going, I will surely know my way, and I will turn, look inside me, and bid farewell to one more day. Every life begins with darkness. Every flower wants to see, and with the sun and when to test us, we are bound to be released. I will fly beyond this valley, and I will open up the gate. And when I reach the place I'm going, I will surely know my way. We have hands to hold our sorrow. We have tears to heal the pain. And though your eyes ask many questions, on your lips I hear my name. I was born without a whisper. I was born beneath the rain. But when I reach the place I'm going, I will surely know my way. I will surely know my way.
Good evening. I'm Rick Chappell from the Marshall Space Flight Center. Welcome to all of you to the 8th Annual Von Braun Exploration Forum. We're here to remember Dr. Von Braun and to celebrate the exploration that all of the people of this region have made possible. Our theme tonight is Outposts of Exploration. We're going to talk about the human side of living and working at the frontier, a unique environment that tests our very best skills and abilities. And we'll talk about stepping up to the challenges that life brings to us. In a sense, Huntsville is an outpost of exploration itself. All of us have come from around the country and around the world and joined together here in this very special place to work at the edge of the space frontier. Very much like Lagos, Portugal in the 15th century, or Portsmouth, England in the 16th and 17th century, all of the people of this region have done their part to open a new frontier for humankind. And it was the vision and the leadership of Dr. Von Braun, like that of Prince Henry the Navigator, that focused our knowledge and our energies. This year, in fact, marks the 50th anniversary of the arrival of the Von Braun team in the United States. There's a strong heritage of creativity and accomplishment which characterizes our community. Our children, the students of today, are our link from our proud past to the exciting future. It's certainly appropriate that they be with us here tonight. We're privileged to have science and math students and teachers from all of the city and county middle schools with us here tonight, and we welcome you especially. Their attendance was made possible by the support of the people of the community. Dr. Von Braun always understood the importance of education. In fact, he said the most valuable gift we can give a child is a careful education. At great moments in human history, there are occasionally skilled chroniclers who can sense the pulse of the moment, capture the essence of the events, and understand the meaning of the flow of life. Hugh Downs is one of these people. His reporting of humankind's leap from Earth has been characterized by a clear description of the feat and a sensitivity to the nature of the endeavor, the intensity of the great adventure, the complexity of the technology, the celebration of the human spirit. Hugh Downs, like few others, can combine the closeness of personal feelings with the factual portrayal of these very special moments. His career in journalism has been incredibly rich in accomplishment. He's been in the broadcast field for more than 50 years. He is at once the celebrity and the insightful journalist, a veteran of mainstream television shows like The Tonight Show, The Today Show in 2020, and the author of 8 books on topics ranging from sailing to science to space. He's received numerous awards, including multiple Emmys and honorary doctorates. He's been particularly recognized for his contributions to the public understanding of aging, which led to his recent book, 50 to Forever. In 1974, his personal friendship with Dr. von Braun led to the formation of what is now the National Space Society. He continues to serve today as chairman of its board of governors. He knew Dr. von Braun, and he felt the significance of this period for America. We are truly honored tonight to have with us Mr. Hugh Downs.
On this 50th anniversary of Wernher von Braun's entry into the United States and with his team, there are a lot of memories for me, and I want to share some of them with you. Wernher von Braun was one of the most single-minded people I think I ever knew. His only lifelong foe, I realized toward the end of his life, was the gravity well of the Earth's surface. That's a formidable thing to climb out of. Even his passion for equality and education, and these were considerable, and he accomplished a great deal in those two. Even that passion was recruited in the service of his hope that humanity would become spacefaring and not leave all its eggs in one basket. As beautiful as the planet Earth is, he sensed its vulnerability, and he knew the value and necessity of moving out from it. But beyond that, he knew the value of space exploration as a resource, that it would provide extensive reprieve from the limits to growth, that we cannot sustain indefinitely exponential growth on the surface, the finite surface of one sphere. Wernher believed that space exploration was a technology that would help us to back away from harmful activities. He said to me once, "We have to separate the possible from the permissible." Now think what that means. The technological imperative always said, if you can do it, you must do it. Well, if we can develop something more explosive, more powerful than the hydrogen bomb, should we do it? And he felt that there was a need to separate the possible from the permissible. And he believed that space exploration was something that would help us make that separation. Several things, I think, intrigued him about this. There was a Chase econometric study. Any dollar spent on space yielded $4 into the economy, besides the jobs and the family security and the technological benefits that we got. The whole cybernetic age exists because of the space age. He also sensed that the space activity produces heroes who are not killers, and that space represents a challenge that calls for international cooperation and not international strife. Because Because Wernher von Braun did not expend a great deal of his energy on personal public relations, he fell afoul of a satirical, what I would call journalistic fashion, a simplistic view that because he had been in Germany and he had been a scientist there when Hitler was in power, that he was a Nazi who merely defected in order to save his own skin. Nothing could be farther from the truth. In fact, I wonder what percentage of the American public right now knows that Wernher von Braun, while he was in Germany, working there as a scientist, was arrested by Himmler on charges that he was scuttling Hitler's weapons program. And he was under a death sentence for several days until he was rescued by Dornberger and some others. I guess I was told by Ernst Stuhlinger today that Albert Speer was instrumental in his rescue because it was just too ridiculous. But he may have been guilty of trying to scuttle Hitler's weapons program because he was working on the V2 really on his moon rocket. And once he was asked afterward, the V2 was a formidable weapon, but it was, in many respects, it was not as good a weapon as the V1. And as a result, there was this suspicion that he wasn't really trying to help the Nazi effort, which he wasn't. And he was asked once later by a reporter, said, well, was the V2 a success? And Wernher said, it was a success, he said, but it landed on the wrong planet. One of the things that haunts me constantly is Werner's tremendous sense of humor. He had, I visited him in the hospital once when he was ill, and he had a lot of blood transfusions, and he said to me, he said, now I'm really more American than anything else. He said, there's more American blood in me than there is German. His sense of timing, too, was superb. I want to back up a moment and tell you that when I was 9 years old, I was reading a comic strip called Buck Rogers that Phil Nolan and Dick Hawkins, two men, had put this up, and it was called Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. And those men, along with many scientists of the time, believed that humans would eventually go to the moon and Mars and so forth, but that it would all take place 500 years in the future. That's why it was called Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. And at the time that I was reading this, there was a kid in a stroller 16 miles to the south of my hometown, which was Lima, Ohio. And this kid was in Wapakoneta, Ohio, who was named Neil Armstrong, and he was destined to be the first man to walk on the moon in about 39 years after I was reading that comic strip for the first time. So it shows that much of our attempts at futurology are characterized by failure of imagination. We don't imagine how fantastic and how wonderful the future will unfold, but even how fast it will unfold. When President Kennedy said, we choose to go to the moon, and set a timetable of 10 years, there were some sensible scientists who said, wait a minute, it can be done, but it's going to take 25 or 30 years. And it was done in 9 years. And Wernher had a wonderful sense of the timing that it took and what could be done and what couldn't be done. And one time somebody asked him, with this great accomplishment, this wonderful engineering feat and work of teamwork that managed to get men to the moon and back, this interviewer said to Wernher, if you had had vastly more money and more manpower, could this have been done in 5 years? And Wernher said, no. He said, a woman can produce a baby in 9 months, but you can't get a baby in 1 month by putting 9 women on it.